Good day, grade 12 learners. Welcome to today's English Fall lesson. My name is Karabo Site. This lesson is brought to you by Pakama Research in collaboration with Saibono. Learners, today our focus is short stories. I want to take a few minutes to remind you of the following. This I will remind you at every lesson. You must remember this. The question paper during your prelims as well as at the end of the year, it will consist of 26 or more pages, almost 26. We have the first page as a table of contents, which will indicate the following. Section A, it will be novels. The novels make up section A. So you either answer on question 1 or question 2. That will be a choice between Cry in the Beloved Country as well as A Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Grade 12 learners, if you were not taught or you did not study question 1 or question 2, if you did not study Cry the Beloved Country and you did not study A Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, please ignore question 1. Section B is drama. In the drama section, which is section B, we have question 3 or question 4. You either answer question 3 or question 4. That is Macbeth or My Children, My Africa. In other words, if you haven't done novels, you skip. If you have not done drama, you skip. If you have studied My Children, My Africa, yes, you answer question 4. You do not renumber it, you write it as is. Question number 4, My Children, My Africa. Then you proceed to short stories. If you have studied short stories this year in 2024, you do not make a choice of the 2 sections. It will be out of the 8 short stories that you have studied in the year. Only 2 will be tested. So it will be question 5.1 plus 5.2, and that make up question 5. Your anthology of short stories is called Changes. If you've done poetry, again, no choice. It will be poem number 6.1 and poem number 6.2. A collection of your poems is found in the book Voice of the Land. I want to draw your attention again on the errors that we make as grade 12 learners is not to follow instructions. If you do not follow instructions, you lose marks. Remember the choice of genre that I have spoken about. You only answer the questions or the books that you have read in 2024. If your school by any chance is treating 3 genres, Please make a choice. You only have to do 2. So that's only 2. We have very simple or giveaway questions that are pitched at level 1 and level 2, and that requires you to do what? To study the genre of the set work in full and in close detail so that you can answer this. Who is the poet? We look at the title very closely. Some of the short stories titles are very key. They have some sense of appeal, or they touch on the story as is. Thirdly, we look at setting, and in some cases we look at the point of view, the narrator's point of view. We look at diction, that is vocabulary, the words used in the story. We do what we call plot analysis, and we study characterization. A story will not be a story without the characters, isn't it? So we have to learn about the characters. We also look at literary devices, your irony, your figures of speech. Your next one would be your themes. All those are literary devices, things that make up a story, that give us the sweeter part of the story, isn't it? We do not only read for plot, but we read for greater meaning. And lastly, we look at the exam questions, because at the end of what we study, we must be assessed. Lastly, we do a little bit of homework. What is school without homework? We have to do homework. Okay. The Girl Who Can is written by this beautiful woman, Ama Ata Aidoo. What do you see on the picture? You see an athlete, correct. So the story has to do with something with the running, isn't it? And you can, the girl who can. When you look at this, you see a young girl going to school and a grandmother holding what? A stick. Those are the important people in the story. Let's read together. They say that I was born in Hasoti, and it is a big village in the central region of our country, Ghana. Already now you know. The setting is where? The bigger setting is in Hasoti village. And where is the Hasoti village? In the region, in the central region of Ghana. They also say, who is this person talking? Point of view. The narrator, isn't it? The girl. They say that when all of Africa is not choking under drought, the choking. You know what is to choke, isn't it? Somebody holds you here by your throat and you cannot speak. You are choked. So there's a figure of speech there. Hasoti lies in a very fertile lowland and in a district that is known for its good soil. When everybody else is suffering under drought, the soil is barren, they cannot produce food, they are lucky in Hasoti because their place is what? It's green, it's fertile. They can produce food. They have good soil. Maybe that is why anytime I don't finish eating my food, Nana says, you are Joa, you don't know what life is about. You don't know what problems there are in this life. So when she is wasteful, the grandmother, Nana, would scream at her and say, "You girl don't know what life is about. You don't know what problems there are in this life. So finish up your food. Don't be wasteful. Other people would want to have what you have." As far as I could see, there was only one problem. And it had nothing to do with what I knew Nana considered as problems, or of what mommy think of the problem. Mommy is my mother. Nana is my mother's mother. That is the grandmother. So we have mommy and Nana. And they say I am 7 years old. And my problem as Ajua is that at these 7 years of age, there are things I think in my head. People don't think as a 7-year-old, I also think, but which maybe I do not have a proper language to speak them out. Yes, I can think. But these adults, mommy and Nana, do not think I have a problem. Do not think I have a brain that I can also think. And that, I think, is a very serious problem. They think the problem is I don't finish my food. They think that my problem is this and the other. But the biggest problem that I have is I am not listened to. I also have a mind. I think, but the problem is I do not have the platform to say the things I wish to. Because it is always difficult to decide whether to keep quiet and not say anything of the things that come into my head. Or say them and get laughed at. Sometimes I actually have some things to say, but when I say them, my grandmother does what? Laughs at me. So would you be encouraged to speak? No. Rather you do what? Keep quiet. No. That is easy to get any grown up to listen to you, even when you decide to take the risk and say something serious to them. They don't even take me serious. Even though I were to say something very serious, I know they don't take to me. Take Nana. First, I have to struggle to catch her attention. The first thing is I must start by catching her attention, for her to focus on me as a person, as a young 7-year-old girl, as Ajoa. Sad, isn't it? Setting. Remember what we told you about setting? Your teacher told you about the setting? Setting in literature refers to what? To the time or location and environment in which a story unfolds. Where are we in the story? We know that we are in Hazodi village, or the narrator's home. And then where? In central region of what? Of Ghana. The story takes place in Ghana, in a village called Hazodi, and close to home, where? In the narrator's home. Look at the picture there. We see greenery, isn't it? Remember what they said about what Ajua said about her setting, her surrounding? the soil is good, the soil is fertile. When everybody in the country is choking under the drought, they have a fertile soil. When is the story taking place? It takes place when Ajua was how old? Was 7 years old. The story shifts between the narrator's home as well as the school, and you can also add perhaps the grounds where the sporting competition happens. Right. Again, where are we? It is not clear. Like I said, the sporting grounds, the stadium. It is not clear when the athletics take place. But at this point, it is when? It is during the athletic season at school. You know that sporting codes do occur during particular seasons. Our main character, Ajua, walks 5 kilometers to reach the school in the nearby small town. That's the when. Right. Let's look at the title. The girl who can. I am now reminded of the American president, Barack Obama, with what? Yes, we can. So our story here is the girl who can. Let's look at it closely. The girl who can is written by who? Again, an indomitable Ama Adom. The focus here is the roles and the rules that people find themselves entangled in. We make rules as we go, isn't it? Parents, the society makes up rules, often against their will. Atu in this story, she delves into the struggle of African women to secure the rightful position in society. She's dealing with women issues. Are women given their rightful place in society? The title of the story is related to the vast potential of a young girl who can achieve something beyond that which tradition-ridden society can think of. Take a moment. Check what is happening at home. Do we have chores for boys and chores for girls? Are you allowed to do the garden and plant flowers? Or your duty is to wash the dishes and cook? Are roles defined by gender? Here we find a girl. She has vast potential, very huge potential to achieve, but there is a tradition that expects her to do certain things. In this story, Ajua, a 7-year-old child, is asked not to air her views openly. Shh! Never say that. Don't speak. Keep quiet. Be a lady. She has to confront the criticism and opposition of her grandmother, Nana. Is the title suitable? Discuss your view. Remember again, I want to remind you, as in every story that we have treated on this platform, we have done open-ended questions, and what is expected of you? By now, you know what is expected of you. We know that they are open-ended, and how do we respond to questions that require your judgment? You are expected to write a relevant response that shows your understanding of viewpoints, among others. And those viewpoints, where do you find those points? You will have your own judgment, but your response should be grounded in the text of the short story, or the text of the novel if you're doing novels, or the text of the drama if you're doing drama. The girl, amongst other things, that the title is suitable, is that the girl who can centers around female empowerment. The females are empowered. We want her to be empowered. We want our women or our girl children to be empowered. The story highlights the importance of women-centric society by portraying a female tripartite household. We have Nana as the head of the family, followed by who? By Mommy, and then we have little Ajua. So it's easy, isn't it? Women can hold their own. Ajua faces generational conflicts with her mother and grandmother. Despite the fact that we do not see a male figure in this house, Nana enforces patriarchal ideas or ideology. Ajua's grandmother criticizes Ajua's thin legs and the fact that the mother wants her to be educated. Thin legs. We'll explore that later. And education is a right for everyone, isn't it? To have your body shape as you are. Nobody is supposed to body shame anyone. Whether you have a bit of meat or you have thin legs, nobody is supposed to do it, to body shame you. If you go to school as a girl, it's okay, it's fine. Ajua proves her worth by winning a district area race. She proves everyone wrong when her ridiculed thin legs allow her to accomplish an achievement. The grandmother normally says, your thin legs are useless, your legs are useless. But now what we see, she runs the race and she wins. The legs now do what? The legs are useful. She could accomplish some achievement. So the title reflects Ajua's determination and success. So it is suitable because now we see this young girl achieving. She can. You can achieve. You can succeed. I know Deboho would refuse and say, the title is not suitable. So still, you must use some of the issues explored in the short story to prove your point that the title is not suitable. Firstly, we discussed, yes, it's suitable, and we mentioned things that prove that the title is suitable. That we have a household with 3 women. We have a young girl who is being ridiculed, but the young girl succeeds in the race. The title makes readers think the story is about superheroes of fantasy. Oh, the girl who can. Maybe the girl must wear a cape and fly like Superman. But in reality, the story is about a regular life and the difficulties people face in society. No, the title is not suitable because it doesn't fully explore the complexity and the detail of the story. It doesn't tell us about the conflicts between generations, the cultural aspects of the depth of character and growth. The title could refer to various physical or intellectual or emotional achievement. So the reader is uncertain when we say, the girl who can, but now we focus only on one person, and the person is who? Is Ajua. What did she do? Intellectually? Emotionally? No. But it's only on the physical. Right. For you to obtain full marks for an open-ended question, you need to give us a full response, a well substantiated response, and your answer should be grounded in the novel or short story in this instance, short story. Let's look at the plot analysis. Exposition, the foundation of the story. The story begins by recounting events through its main character, Ajua, a 7-year-old girl. She's the one telling us the story, isn't it? She introduces the story setting. We spoke about that. Hazotzi, which asserts that it has fertile soil for the yielding of crops. Good crops were abundant. They had good crops. So her grandmother, Nana, complained when she did not finish her meal. It's not that they don't have food, so she must eat and get full. And for a young child to grow, they must eat, isn't it? We have rising action, which brings us to the conflict of the story. We have internal conflict, something that is bothering someone. Here is Ajoa. She has internal conflict. She has challenges. Her first issue is that she is unable to voice her ideas. She is stifled. So the silence is killing her. Her thoughts and ideas are taken for granted, are not given a platform. She's not given a platform to air her views. Whenever she tries to say something to her grandmother, she becomes a laughing stock. Nana would usually laugh in an intimidating manner or cautioning her or telling her to never, but never to repeat that. It starts with a soft tone. Never, but never to repeat that. She then, poor Ajua, do what? She resorts to keeping quiet. We have external conflict. There are arguments between mother and daughter. That is between mommy and Nana. Who is mommy again? Ajua's mother. Nana, Ajua's grandma. The arguments are mainly about Ajua's legs being long and thin, and the importance of education or the lack thereof. Mommy naturally wants her daughter to go to school, but for Nana, seems a waste of time to educate a girl. Nana would dismiss mommy into silence. She's a strong woman, isn't it? Into silence by criticizing her to choosing to get married to Ajua's father. If you did not marry that kind of a man, we would not be sitting with a girl with thin legs. Your choice of husband is what has led to what we have in now. The climax of the story. Ajua participates in athletics with her classmates and wins each time. However, remember, she's unable to say things at home. She did not tell her mother and grandmother, and that is key. Why do you keep quiet? She keeps quiet because no one wants to listen to her. She's always told, never, never, but never say that. Her talent is recognized by her teachers at school, who select her to represent the school's junior team at the district games. That's quite an achievement, isn't it, to represent your school? Ajua was now compelled to share this with her mommy and Nana, who were shocked to learn that Ajua's legs were not completely useless. Nana was pleased and grew close to Ajua. Hypocrite, isn't it? One moment, your legs are useless. When she achieves, she becomes very close to Ajua, and she washes Ajua's uniform and she irons it and follow her to the district sports. Nana is a hypocrite. Ajua won every race for her school and won the cup for the best junior athlete. Oh, that's quite an achievement, isn't it? We have our little girl winning there, running. Can you see that picture of a girl running, following action and resolution? Nana changes her perspective, isn't it? When Ajua's skinny legs make her a successful runner. Nana was overjoyed, muttered, even though some legs don't have meat on them to carry hips, even though some legs don't have meat, that is Ajua's legs do not have meat on them to carry hips, they can run. She becomes so proud that she openly supports her by walking with her to school and even carrying her trophy, putting her trophy on the back like a baby. As usual, Ajua is puzzled, was unsure what to say, while Mami remained speechless. Remember, she also doesn't have a say in the house. The only person who is vocal in that house is who? Is Nana. Mami remained speechless. She kept quiet at the achievement of Ajua and the reaction of Nana. Let's read an extract that shows how Nana is unhappy with Mami. Oh, mother, that's how my mother would answer, very, very quietly. And the discussion would end, or they would move on to quietly, and the discussion would end, or they would move on to something else. Such a pity. Sometimes Nana would put in something about my father. How? Looking at such a man, we have to be humble and admit that after all, God's children are many. They are differently built, isn't it? Ironic. How, after only one's daughter had insisted on marrying a man like that, you still have to thank your God that the biggest problem you got later was having a daughter with spindly legs that are too long for a woman. Oh God, you know what? My child just looked at a man and decided to marry a man. And for my punishment is that we have a daughter with what? With long legs for a woman and too thin to be of any use. Of any use is Nana doubted that Ajua will be able to carry a child. You need to have meat to support your hips so that you can be married and bear children and be pregnant. That's all that Nana was thinking of. The way she always added that bit about my father under her breath. So Nana was always complaining about Ajua's father. She probably thought I did not hear it because she said it very softly under her breath, as if it was a murmur. But I always heard it. She made sure I heard it. But she said it in such a subtle way that she thinks I did not hear. Plus, that is what always shut my mother up for good. When Mommy wanted to protest or to stand up for Ajua, she will always be told, your choice of husband, remember, and that would silence her. So that even if I had not actually heard the words, once my mother looked like even her little courage was finished, shame, poor mommy, I could always guess what Nana had added to the argument. Legs that have meat on them with good calves to support solid hips to be able to have children. The goal was have good legs with meat, with good hips to carry a baby. So I wished that one day I would see for myself the legs of any woman who had children. Remember, in their tradition, women wore very long dresses. So our poor Ajua would not see the legs, whether what kind of legs are suitable for childbearing. But in our village, that is not easy. The older women wear long wraparounds all the time. Poor Ajua. Let us look at the following. Beautiful story, isn't it? It kept you thinking, right? Yes, but always we read for understanding of the story. We look at it very closely and then we look at the stories, at the analysis or the questions. You will always find a question where you are required to match a description from column B with a name in column A. And you will write the A to E next to the question. 5.1.1 to 5.1.D. Learners' instructions. Instructions are very key. Let's look at column A. We have Mommy, Nana, Ajua, and Mensa. And the description in column B. A is the kind neighbor, talented runner, is very traditional, believes in education, is a talented swimmer. So let's match. Who is Mommy? The description that fits Mommy is she is very traditional. So Mommy is C. Who is Nana? Nana believes in education. That's the description there. She believes that, no, I'm very wrong. I apologize. Mommy believes in education. So we have a D there. And then who is Nana? Nana is C. She's a very traditional old woman. Achua, what is she talented in? In swimming or running? She is a very talented runner. So that is number B. Then number D, Mensa. Who is this Mensa? This is a very kind neighbor. So that's number A. So your answers are D, C, B, A. Can you see? You have to be very close and careful. Otherwise, you will make a mistake like I did with the first two ones. Okay? And that is for 4 marks. Let's look at a knowledge question. Why is the following statement false? The question is, the village of Hazotzi is dry and barren. It is dry. It doesn't produce food. But what did the story say? The village of Hazotzi is fertile. They have good soil. You can also add there good soil. So that's for your 1 mark. So for your first question, you must get the response, the correct response in the book or in the short story or in the extract. Let us look at tone. Let's read from lines 6 to 9. How, after one's only daughter had insisted on marrying a man like that, you still have to thank your God that the biggest problem you got later was having a daughter with spindly legs that are too long for a woman and too thin to be of any use. When we refer you to a line, we want you to go back to the extract and read the exact same line. In the question paper, they will not give you the whole lines 6 to 9 as I have written there. They will first give you the first 3 words, how, after, 1, and then they have the ellipses there, the 3 dots, and then they give you the last 3, be of any use. The question will be, refer to line 6 to 9. How, after, da 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 da, be of any use. The last 3, the first 3 and the last 3. Your responsibility as a candidate or as a learner is to do what? You go back to the extract and you read for yourself lines number 6 to 9. How? After only one's daughter had insisted on marrying a man like that, you still have to thank your God that the biggest problem, who's the biggest problem, is this daughter, the grandchild you got later, was having a grown daughter with spindly legs that are too long for a woman and too thin to be of any use. What tone would Nana use in these lines? What tone? She's very harsh, isn't it? Yes, Tabucho? She's cruel, isn't it, Sipo? She's mocking, uncaring, very unmerciful, and almost inhuman. How can you say such words with such a tone to your granddaughter and to your child, your daughter? So if you give us a harsh tone or a cruel tone, we are going to award what? A mark. Why would Nana use this tone? There's a reason why she did that. She blames, there's a blame, isn't it? She blames Ajua's deformity. Is Ajua deformed? Is she deformed to have thin legs? Long, thin legs? No, but according to Nana, it is a deformity because she won't be able to carry a child. On the type of maid, she blames Ajua's deformity on the type of maid her daughter has chosen. Would you have chosen better? I would have a grandchild with legs that have a bit of meat, and she would carry a child. Oh, she is insensitive, isn't it? Very cruel and insensitive in her reference to Ajua's thin legs. So that's the reason why she's using that tone. To be insensitive, to get at Ajua, to make Ajua feel uncomfortable, as well as to make mommy to feel uncomfortable and regret the day she met Ajua's father. Sad, isn't it? State of mind questions. What is your state of mind? Your state of mind shows how you feel, how you think, and how you feel. What goes upstairs. A state of mind is the way you are thinking and feeling at a particular moment or point in time. When we read this following words, the state of mind of Nana is that of disappointment, isn't it? Of annoyance. What does this extract reveal about mommy's state of mind? When she's told that your husband or the man that you got a child with, then you must substantiate your answer. Remember, to substantiate is you are explaining your answer. Mommy is content. She's at peace. She's accepting. She is respectful, isn't it? She decides, I'm not going to be bothered with this old woman who's always on my case. She is silent. She keeps quiet. And that is, she's respectful of her mother. And she's accepting of the way her mother is. She doesn't indulge her mother's negative comments. You will answer questions on themes. And what is a theme? The message of the story. Theme. The message of the story. One of the themes in this short story is what? Is gender stereotype. Discuss this theme. Nana makes fun of her granddaughter's thin and long legs. She believes that a girl's legs should have flesh in preparation for childbearing stage. Nana believes that Ajua is less likely to be a good woman for this reason. Nana does not send mommy to school because she believes women do not need to be educated. So that's sad, isn't it? So that's gender stereotyping. Chores and things that are supposed to be done by women, and some are done by what? By men. In this instance, the poor women. The other one has thin and long legs. The other one wants to be educated. The other one chose a wrong man. So they are put to silence. And what is said is, it's a woman who is giving them such a hiding. One of the other theme, or one of the themes in the short story, is conflict, and we have to discuss that as well. The discussion of the theme of conflict should include these points, among others. There are many other points in the story, but let's look at the following. Nana and Mommy, this mother and daughter, argue about Mommy's choice of husband. That's a conflict, the bone of contention. Nana blames Mommy's choice of husband for the appearance of Ajua. The discussion about Ajua's skinny legs caused conflict between the two women. Mommy does not see anything wrong with Ajua's legs, while Nana thinks they are of no use, they are useless. Okay. The next theme is a theme of success, and we discussed this theme. Amongst others, we look at success. Ajua becomes a successful athlete when her teachers realize that she can run fast. She finally realizes that her thin legs are useful for a different purpose. A greater, bigger purpose, isn't it, than childbearing. She is chosen to represent the school at the district games, and she goes and win. She goes and win a trophy in that category. Okay. So, boys and girls, those are the themes that we find in our story, The Girl Who Can. One of the other themes is pride and appreciation. We had the theme of success, and now of pride and appreciation. Nana becomes Ajoa's #1 fan when she becomes famous and successful in athletics. She prepares her school uniform for her, and she also accompanies her to school and athletics events. She takes pride in carrying her granddaughter's trophy. She does it as if she's carrying a child on her back. The open-ended questions and the theme questions, we usually want you to use the peel method to do a point. You give an explanation, and you give an example, and you link back to the story. Nana is cruel to Mommy. Discuss your view. That's an open-ended question. So you are going to give a response that is grounded in the story. Is she cruel? Do you agree that Nana is cruel? Or Nana is just concerned? Nana is cruel, yes. How do we know that Nana is cruel? She doesn't allow Mommy to attend school as she thought it was a waste of time. She does not think Ajua should attend school either. She endlessly criticizes Mommy's husband in the presence of Ajua. So she's being cruel, isn't it? Sipo says, she's not cruel. Nana is not cruel. She's just a matter of fact. She says things as they are. Nana is protective, overprotective of Ajua. She looks ahead and she thinks, oh, for my grandchild to have a good life, she should be able to bear children. So that's being protective. She sees women in the light of motherhood only. She's not being cruel. She has been told or taught in her life as well that the only good thing about women is to carry a baby. So she is being socialized. She feels a sense of pride when she shows Ajua's trophy to mommy. If she was cruel, she wouldn't go with Ajua to school, isn't it? To the sports, accompany her, and even carry the trophy on her back like a baby. You can either say yes or no, and your response must be grounded in the short story. Now, I'm going to give you homework. So let's look at the homework that you are supposed to write. And this you do on your own or with your friends at school. They say that I was born in Hazotse, and it is a big village in the central region of our country, Ghana. Reading text or the story, it's very important. They also say that when all of Africa is not choking under drought, Hazotse lies in a very fertile lowland and in a district that is known for its good soil. Maybe that is why anytime I do not finish eating my food, Nana says, you, Ajua, you don't know what life is about. You don't know what problems there are in this life. As far as I could see, there was only one problem, and it had nothing to do with what I knew Nana considered as problems of what mommy thinks of as the problem. Mommy is my mother. Nana is my mother's mother. And they say, I am 7 years old. And my problem is that at these 7 years of age, there are things I can think in my head, but which maybe I do not have proper language to speak them out with. And that I think it's a very serious problem. The problem that mommy and Nana have, yes, it is not the same problem as I, Ajua, experience. Because it is always difficult to decide whether to keep quiet and not say anything of the things that come into my head, or say them and get laughed at. Not that it is easy to get any grown up to listen to you, even when you decide to take the risk and say something serious to them. Take Nana. First, I have to struggle to catch her attention. Then I tell her something. I had taken a long time to figure it out. And what happens? She just laughs at me. So I will require you to look at the extract. This extract is on the first page of your short story. Describe the time and place where the extract is set. And that is for 2 marks. The time as well as the place. In other words, the setting of the story. Second question, describe Ajua's relationship with Nana and Mommy. Their relationship is unique, isn't it? The relationship that Ajua has with her mother is different from the relationship that she has with the mother. The relationship with the grandmother is different and the relationship with the mother is different. And we want you to give an explanation, or you must substantiate, give reasons why you say whatever you'd be saying. When you look to line 3, it says, the other places in the country, they are choking under a drought. That is in line 3. We want you to identify the figure of speech used in this line, And you must explain why the figure of speech is relevant in the extract. Remember, if you say it is simile, or if you say it is personification, or you say it is metaphor, we don't want you to give us the definition of that figure of speech. We don't want a definition. We want you to tell us why that figure of speech is relevant. And for that, if it's a comparison, we want to see how the comparison plays itself out. And for that, we give you 2 marks. We use what we call the ID method. You identify, that will be the first question, where you identify the figure of speech, and then you describe the figure of speech, and then you give an explanation or an example. It must be very clear in your response so that you know what a figure of speech is. Moving right along. Question number 4. Refer to lines 6 to 8. Nana says, you do not have problems. You don't know what problems are in this world. This we read several times, isn't it? You go back to the extract and you go back, read from line 6 up to line 9. Nana says, you, Ajua, do not have a problem. You don't know what problems are in this world. The question is, what is ironic about Nana's statement? When you respond to irony questions, remember, an irony is you say something, but you mean something else. So that's the opposite of what you mean. Nana says, God's children, you won't have a problem that we have God's children. But at the same time, what is she doing about God's children? And that's ironic, isn't it? You are also going to be required to do a theme question. The girl who can is in a generational conflict. Generational. What is generational? Problems stem up from the generation, the age gap between herself and the parents. Generational gap. We have the mother. The grandmother is the head of the family. Then we have a mother, and we have her as the granddaughter. So there will always be a conflict between them. The way the grandmother reasons or views things is different from what mommy thinks or do things. And then, of course, our little Ajua, with a mind of her own at 7 years old, who is always told to keep quiet. For mommy to advance an argument and argue on behalf of her daughter, One thing that the grandmother is able to do, she just has to mention the choice of husband or of the father of the child. He said, ooh, you gave us and you had to choose such a man. So there's that generational gap. And mommy will do what? Because she respects her mother, she will keep quiet. So I want you to answer looking at the age gap between the people in the house and how they relate to each other, being guided by what? By their age. I want you now to refer to the short story as a whole, not only to the extract. At some point, we would ask you a question where we say, refer to the extract or refer to the following lines. Now we say refer to the whole story. Your knowledge of the short story must come to the fore now. Now, let's go back to the questions. Refer to line 6 to 8. What tone would Nana use in this lines? Why would Nana use this tone in this lines? What is ironic about Nana's statement? When she said you don't know what life is about, you don't know what problems are there in life. One of the themes in The Girl Who Can is generational conflict. You discuss the theme and you refer to the story as a whole. Nana can be admired for her strength of character, and you must discuss your view. Grade 12 learners, that's all that I have for you for this afternoon. But as a last thought, a little progress each day adds up to what? To big results. Surely Ajoa practiced, isn't it? For her to win the district competitions, to have a cup or to win a cup for his school, to be the best athlete. With you, as we prepare for this race, which is the exam, we want you to practice. A little progress each day will add up to big results. And at the end of it all, what is going to happen? We are going to cheer you up when you proudly get your trophy as a matriculant. Thank you for watching this lesson. See you next time and goodbye.